Om Namah Shivaya, friends. Welcome to Dots of Destiny. This is the video for 2025 year for the Cancer Ascendants and Moon sign. So, Cancer Moon sign, I think you can feel somewhat of relief with Saturn going out from the dhaya that you are facing in the 8th house. So, that is for the Cancer Moon sign. Now, the main planets, as we know, are Saturn coming into your 9th house, and Rahu, Ketu and Jupiter all are changing signs. Now Jupiter will come into your 12th house. Now Jupiter is very fast this time, coming first till May month. It will be in the 11th house direct. Then it will go to your, from May to October, it will be in your 12th house. Then it will come on the Lagna. And Rahu is coming into the 8th house. These are money matters mainly, and foreign money is involved in that. And Ketu in the 2nd house can take away, your, it's like savings going a little up and down. So let's discuss the months of 2025. First comes the January month, where you will find that there is a conjunction of Mercury and Sun in your 6th house, which is a good conjunction, and Saturn Venus conjunction in your 8th house. So 6th and 8th house are important at this point of time. And already you have Mars on the Lagna. So one thing about this combination of Mars being on the Lagna is mainly all about your 10th house things. I think it's a process that you're going through, especially in the month of January, February, March, where you are processing your 10th house matters very deeply. Now, the thing about Mars getting debilitated on the Lagna is that you want to do something about your 10th house matters, but exactly the resources are not available. Debilitation of any planet makes the resources, suppose somebody comes and helps you, that is not very much applied over here. You're thinking out the ways that can be put into action regarding your 10th house matters, and this is the story that begins from on your Lagna. The theme is that, because Mars is I feel it's a very important planet for you. So 10th Lord and 5th Lord, the Kendra Trikona is very, very important, and there where your journey begins with Mars getting debilitated on the Lagna retrograde, you're contemplating in the month of January. Joint ventures and investments with Venus Saturn being there in the 8th house is okay. Venus Saturn, they do money wise, they do not bad in the 8th house. Sun Mercury with your co-workers, with your daily work is also not bad in the 6th house. It is also a good thing in the, though it's not for education, but any kind of competitive exams or anything, if you're going Cancer Ascendant, it is good in the 6th house. Okay, now comes the month of February. The month of February sees Mars going retrograde back to the 12th house. That will go retrograde itself in January. 21st of January, it will go to Gemini, your 12th house. Now here Mars is there in the 12th house again, and because this back and forth of Mars in the 12th and the 1st is not a easy process that you're going through, but you are learning the things that needs to be done for your 10th house matters, sometimes at a loss when Mars is retrograde in the 12th. Foreign matters can be good. If the 10th Lord goes to the 12th house, anything working in seclusion, foreign related things, foreign clients, these can be favored. Rahu joining Venus in the 9th house, this is also your, like, the gain, the Lord of gains, and the 4th Lord coming into the 9th. This is a good combination for money generation and getting help. A little, some kind of a process starts with the long distance journeys, foreigns, organizations, these things are the 9th house. And Rahu though does not work well in the 9th house, but it gives a startup to these kind of matters, and then it slowly comes towards your 8th house. But before Rahu jumps into the 8th house in the month of February, you will see Sun Mercury coming into your 7th house, Rahu Venus conjunction in the 9th house, Saturn is there in the 8th house, and Mars is there in the 12th house. So here the 7th, 8th and 9th, slowly the planets are going towards, with partnership, with joint ventures, with taking up projects, long distance journeys, your career, your money. All these are slowly moving towards, all the planets are gearing up to move toward the 9th, 10th and 11th. That will happen slowly. That is how the year pans out for you. Now, as February goes and March comes, March month, you see Mercury also joining Venus with Rahu in the 9th house. Saturn is still in the 8th house, and Mercury Venus both goes retrograde in the month of March. So Mercury is a problematic planet for you, being the third lord. It is being the 12th lord. That is, see, 12th lord is not always bad. It gives a certain good luck also. If that kind of a good luck or your punya is there. But Mercury is not very suitable for you as a planet, as the Mars-Mercury tussle happens. This year also it will happen. Then it brings some kind of a, not a good position. That I'll talk about later. But at this point of time, in the month of March, you see Mercury and Venus go retrograde in the 9th house and with Rahu. If you are going for higher learning, you have to stop a little bit and think about it, as both Venus and Mercury is retrograded. It's a 4th lord and in the 11th lord also, and the 3rd lord and the 12th lord all are going retrograde. So a little bit contemplation in the month of March month is there. As March month passes, again Mars comes on the Lagna. Now you have some decisions on your mind regarding 10th house matters, regarding 5th house matters, your investment and all this. Jupiter was there in the 11th house. It's hopeful that February, March, you'll see some gains coming in with direct Jupiter in the 11th house. And some kind of an association with people will also happen. That is the 11th house, networking. Now, 9th house matters will see your fortune, rise of fortune. 9th house is where you're gearing up to go towards the 10th house. Now, that is the theme in April, when by 13th of April, Mars on the Lagna and Saturn coming to the 9th house, conjunction with Rahu, Mercury, Venus, all in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra in the beginning span of Pisces. So journeys can happen. You can be part of organization. You can do philanthropy things. You can shine up your luck. You can do higher education. All these things, even your progeny can go for a good education, or his related or her related education related to your progeny can come into your focus. That is also there. 9th house is about father also, your gurus also, your spiritual guru if you have one, you're going for sadhana, some kind of higher learning. All these are taking the front seat now, being the 4 planets, gearing up in your 9th house. Now, this changes. As these changes are happening, the May month comes and Rahu comes into the 8th house, and Ketu goes into the 2nd house, from the 3rd to the 2nd, Rahu to the 8th. Rahu Ketu's change into 2nd and 8th axis is a changeable, like the Lagna. Whenever Rahu Ketu axis in the 1, 4, 7, 10, it's a change. 2nd and 8th is also a very changeable axis, though it brings, if you're a businessman, then it brings foreign clients and money and the money flow. In the 8th, Rahu does good, especially Aquarius is own sign. Ketu is some kind of a takeaway from the 2nd house, some kind of a feel-good factor in the 2nd house. Your home, your family, your things can feel a little burdened or irritated or too much, it can feel like that, because it's a Leo Ketu which is already heated up. And Ketu also makes you spend some excess expenditure also, that your savings go a little haywire at this point of time when Ketu is traveling in the second. Saturn's journey into the ninth house is a mixed journey. It takes you, because ninth house is all the preparation for the 10th house Saturn that will happen in the next 2.5 years later. So here you will be taking up projects and you will be joining organizations. Your faith can be a little marred, as Saturn is not the planet of faith. You will become more practical. Your judgment and decision makings, as Saturn is aspecting Virgo, the third house, will be good. You will think more and then you will be going for implementation. Saturn in the ninth also gives a certain relationship with the bosses, which is work related. And if you can live up to that condition, maybe you are rewarded. And that condition is also there for the Saturn in the ninth, but the Bhagya Uday takes a little bit of time. And so tread with caution over here. Don't be in a hurry for things. Now, when May month sees all these things happening, the transit of big planets like Jupiter in the 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house is also a condition for, the ninth lord going to the 12th house. Some kind of foreign connection or some kind of, the religious pursuits, spiritual things, but Gemini is not a spiritual sign. So I would take it as that because it is your sixth lord also, you are working with some remote people over there, and maybe you're working separately, maybe in online you're going for a work. All these things can be there in the Jupiter, but expenses can also mount a little bit of at this moment of time. You may want to take a new house or anything like that. That can also will happen. Your partner, because the 10th and the 8th lord is in the 9th, can also, have some different kind of a flavor this year, can go for distance journeys and do some research oriented work, some organization head in itself. That can also happen if you are having a governing dasha of Saturn, Jupiter or anything like that. Now, as the month of June comes, Mars was on your Lagna. Now it comes to the second house. Second house, Mars, Ketu, this conjunction happens in the month of June and July. June, Mars will start its transit in Leo and it will go to an exact conjunction with Ketu in the month of July. This second house condition is, you have to be very aware of your family conditions, disputes, if at all, in your own family, the way you speak, and also your speech, your your money is good, but the thing is that the expenses may also rise, because here the Lagna is having one side Mars with Ketu in the second and Jupiter also in the 12th house. So some kind of expenses can happen during this June-July time of 2025. You have to be very careful regarding your money matters, and also your health matters also. So that is also important. Sixth house is the point of focus, as Jupiter aspects Sagittarius and Saturn also does. So new changes in your sixth house area can be seen also as after the transit of Jupiter. So as these things are going on, you have the transit. The other transits are not bad, like Venus transits into your, after in the month of June, it transits into your 10th house. Then in July, it is the 11th house of gains. By that time, Mercury also transits into the 11th and the 12th house and has a conjunction with Jupiter. That is also 12th lord in the 12th with Jupiter, not bad. You can have a comfortable thing in the 12th house related. Suppose you're going for a journey also, or you want, permanent visa kind of things and all this, if you're applying for, these things can also fructify. Now then in the month of July, Mercury comes on your Lagna and gets retrograde. So your 12th house matters and your 3rd house matters comes to focus as it is on the Lagna. So this is also a point that happens with Mercury. Venus is good in the 11th and then in the 12th with Jupiter. A conjunction of Venus will happen. So again, that is again showing some kind of expenses, some kind of that for luxury also it can be, but expenses are there at this point of time. You may buy a house, as simple as that. That can also happen. That will go for some getting loans, some expenses mounting up and all these things. Now this is June, July. Then comes August month, we see Mars moving into your 3rd house in Virgo, aspected by Saturn. 3rd Mars is good, barring the fact you can have, if you are running a Mars Dashanta Dasha, your family, as we are talking about, any disputes over there, maybe with your siblings also can happen, or with your neighbors also, because Mars is all charged up. Being in Leo with Ketu, it's now in Virgo. Virgo sign is good for Mars. It is an earthy sign. Mars, Saturn, Rahu, they do good in Virgo because it is a sign of patience also. Patiently you're putting efforts, your short distance journeys can be good. You're working up for your, this Mars is your 10th lord. You're working all the way out. So see, this is it is like the planets have made up an arrangement in the 9th house, and slowly it is dispersing and making the things happen according to the houses they're transiting, from 10th to 11th, 12th on the Lagna, 2nd house, and now 3rd house. Like that, the planets are transiting. So it is a progressive year in that way. First you understand the things, you take the decisions. Ketu was in the 3rd house. Maybe some decisions were pending, or you had taken sudden decision which did not give you the result. Ketu does both ways. So here, when Ketu moves out of 3rd house, the decision making, the Bhagya, both are in tandem with each other. So the planets are moving from the 9th to now Mars has come to the 3rd house. That is August. It's good Mars. Not bad. Saturn can give it a structure. Mars is raring to go, taking decisions, putting it into action. That is August. And Venus is on your Lagna. So the 11th lord on the Lagna, that is also not bad. The arrangement in August month is looking good. Now from August and September comes, Mars enters into your 4th house of Libra. Here by 15th of September, Mars enters Libra. Jupiter aspects this, Rahu aspects this Mars. If you're going for any buying of land, property, anything, this can happen over here. But some conflicts with your family members, a house is seen at this point of time. It was seen when Mars Ketu was there in the 2nd. Now also 4th Mars, Libra is a relationship sign. Health of your mother may not be that good. That can also happen. So some steps needs to be taken. But if the call is about relationship, because Venus, the 11th lord, now comes into the 2nd house, which is a good Dhani Yoga, but joining Ketu, you may have inflow of money and outflow of money. That is what the trend I'm seeing this year for Cancer ascendants, because Jupiter first a few months it is in your 11th house. Gains can be good, networking can be good. Then it go into the 12th house. You are again getting some of these dissolved in different kind of activities of the 12th house. It can be visiting places for visa, for these things you're applying, money is getting, and Ketu in the 2nd does not give a stable saving. That is a problem with Ketu in 2nd, and some kind of a disagreement with your immediate family. Now Mars, this transit of Mars in Libra from 15th of September to the nearly end of October will continue. By that time you have a Sun Mercury conjunction in the 2nd house. Buddha-Ditta Yoga, it's good over there with Ketu being there. Venus will also be there by the 15th of exactly more or less the same date. So keep a check on relationship. That is for every ascendant, not only for you, because Venus, Ketu and Mars being in Libra is not a good time for relationship at all. That is from 15th of September to the nearly end of October. End of October, 18th October, you see Jupiter entering your Lagna. Now this is you'll have quite a lot of clarity. And Mars coming into Scorpio, your 5th house, Saturn is in the 9th. So 1st, 5th and 9th is getting activated. This is a good time actually. And you are understanding what to do and how to do and putting the things. Your luck is favoring you. Jupiter is aspecting Scorpio. Jupiter is aspecting Saturn. This is a good time for decisions and not decisions. It is a good time to see things that you have already implemented can come into fruition. It is because it is giving you back. When Mars comes in the 5th house, your Purva Punya is supporting you. So this is from 18th of October to 15th of December nearly. Then again, Jupiter will go back to Gemini and Mars will come into your 6th house. That is also good. Mars in the 6th house in Sagittarius. And only thing is that when Mars is in Scorpio, it is having Mercury also conjunction with it. And this Mercury again gets retrograde in Scorpio. Again, your 12th lord. So here you see Mercury gets retrograde first in the month of March in your, because Mercury is the planet to watch out for. First it gets retrograde in your 9th house, then in July month on the Lagna, and then in the November month in the 5th house. So that is regular for Mercury to get retrograde 3 times. But anyway, Mercury is, I think, the planet that troubles the Cancer ascendants. Like Pisces, Venus is troublesome. I feel that is how I see it. It is a little bit troublesome for you. So here when Mars conjunction with Mercury happens in the 5th house, some kind of progeny related matters and all this. If you're thinking of planning, conceiving, this can also, but you have to be careful. Mars being there, but aspected by Jupiter. So these things anyway, always Cancer people have some issue with the progeny related thing, as Scorpio is a house over there. It is not an easy 5th house as such. So this is the whole year where I see that the planet starting from 8th house, Saturn being in the 8th house with Venus, and the January, February, March sees the planning of the things, the thinking, how to, the changes will happen, how to go with the changes. April, May, June will see the changes happening. You have to go with the flow. You cannot do much about it. July, August, September will see the settling down. You have to understand and go cautiously with the changes that are happening every month of 2025. And then last part, you can have a little bit of relief, I feel, when Jupiter comes on the Lagna, Mars in the 5th, Saturn in the 9th. So this is the whole thing that is happening in 2025. It's a very complicated year actually. It is driven by Mars, lot of changes happening. Every month requires a detailed analysis that I'll be giving, and hope this video that I've made, it's not very puzzling. It's like a maze little bit. I'll try to give the dates, and every month I'll talk about the transits and all. So regarding the dasha that you're running, that is very important. If you're running a Saturn, Rahu, Mars, that kind of Ketu, these 4 planets are giving very rigid results in this year. So it will be quite a game-changing year for you. And so that's the thing. Hope this analysis helped you in some way for the year 2025. See you in another video, Cancer people. Till then, have a good time. Take good care. Bye-bye. Thank you.